I think that this might be one of my favorite topics. Happy Monday, happy 4th, happy July, and happy fresh start. You know, that's what Independence Day is for me. What I think about is the gift of being independent in practice, independent in health, independent in my marriage. You know, we have this really beautiful trust in our marriage, independent in my friendships. And the thing that we have in common in this group is we're wellness practitioners, and we all, you know, there are thousands of members of this group, and we all want to serve more people. We all want to earn a fair living, a good living for that matter. And we all want to work less hours on things that are just not the best use of our time. And I actually had a call this morning with a doctor who, you know, she was sharing with me that her main Achilles heel is the new patient experience, because quite frankly, there's just so much time, energy, and money wasted in that experience. And there are ways that we can not only protect our time, energy, and money, but we can also just make sure that in the big picture, the bird's eye view, it's a great experience for everybody involved. So I'm going to go ahead and record. And of course, so what we're talking about is how do we preserve the experience of the new patient or the new client? How do we make sure that we are really honoring the patient's experience, but also our own experience? How do we make sure that we are protecting our time, energy, money? How do we make sure that we're enjoying the process and that we're truly feeling connected with our practice members during that experience? And the topic of this talk is 3 things that you want to think about when putting together or planning for your initial consultation or that first meeting. And I want you guys to, you know, really think outside of the box when it comes to the new patient experience. The first thing, here's number 1. The first thing I want you to do, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, is I want you to remember to see your practice and the experience as a new member in your practice for the first time, to have an objective view of being new in your practice front and center. Because I think what happens is we lose sight of the forest through the trees, and we forget that not everybody knows our the slang that we grow accustomed to, or not everybody knows our style, our sense of humor, our lack of humor, our the nuances of the way that our practice runs. And these are the things that we want to revisit over and over to make sure that it's still fresh on our heart, how to best care for that new client. You want to remember, they don't know you from a hole in the wall. They might have heard about how wonderful you are. They're probably coming in with a whole story about what the experience is going to be like to work with you. They probably are coming in with a whole story that they want you to listen to. They are probably coming in with fears and trepidations and concerns about time, energy, money. And these are all things that we want to assure them you're in the right place, or you're not in the right place, but here's how you can find the right person to serve you. So the first thing is to remain objective when it comes to the experience of being new in your practice. The second thing is I want you to remember that there are people who move through the world kind of led by different senses. And I talk about this a lot. Some people are very in tune with their sense of smell, some their sense of taste, some their sense of sound, some their sense of sight, and some their sense of touch. So in my office, I try every day to have an experience in my office for my new practice members for each sense to be satisfied. If there is one piece of the puzzle that is not being addressed or acknowledged, honored, it could very well disconnect a large audience. So just look at your office from an outsider's perspective looking in, and ask yourself, do I check every box as far as the senses are concerned for the experience of my new practice members for the first time they're in the office? Am I taking care of is the sound good? Is my office beautiful and lovely to look at? Is it overwhelming? Does it smell fresh and clean? Is it messy? You know, all of these things are really important to think about. So that's number 2. Number 3, sometimes having an experience with a new practice member, not in person, is a really important piece to the new client or the new patient experience. It might look like having, and we've talked about this before, this is actually, there's a recording on this in our guide section. We've talked about having a telehealth, like a get to know you session before they come into the office. It could be a complimentary consult that you offer. It could be something that a virtual assistant does for you if you don't have staff in the office. It could be and there are all kinds of programs out there where you can do this for free. I know that doxy.com or doxy.me is one of them, where doxy.me, where you can set up a 10-minute triage and say, I just want to make sure that you're reaching out to the right practitioner. And again, this doesn't have to be you. This can certainly be somebody on your team who does this job, to make sure that the person coming to you for care is going to the right place. Please make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's around what is allowed to be done, who is allowed to do it in your area where you're practicing. I love the idea of a telehealth session or a triage with new practice members, because not everybody who my care is different than most chiropractors that you go to, right? So not everybody is a fit for my practice, and I'm not a fit for everybody that reaches out to me. So having that initial telehealth session is really important to my practice. So those are the 3 things that I really want you to start thinking about. So how do you protect your time, energy, money with new practice members? What are the things that you do? How do you stay objective and consistently check in on the physical space, the senses of the practice members, and making sure that we're honoring all of them? And then, do you need to offer some sort of special visit before somebody moves into an initial consultation experience with you? Think outside the box, you guys. It does not need to be what the guy down the street and the gal down the street is doing. It can definitely be unique to your style and what you need to make your practice go TikTok. So I want you just to keep on your heart and in your mind. The idea is preserving time, energy, money for not only you, but for your practice members too. And if you think about these things, it's definitely going to take you far. This week in the club, the Joy-Filled Practice Club, we're really going to deep dive on what needs to be part of the new patient experience, the new client experience. We're going to go through handouts, all of these things. I'm really excited, really looking forward to that. If you are not yet a member of the club, just drop the word club below and we'll make sure that you get in now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next Monday, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Go take care of your community with great care and make the world better with it. Thanks.